first panelist today is Dr. Michael Tierra. Dr. Tierra, someone was kidding earlier today about how sharp the memory was. That wasn't me. So I'm using a cheat sheet here. Apologies to all. Dr. Michael Tierra, OD, is a California state licensed acupuncturist and herbalist. He's one of the pioneers of herbal medicine and acupuncture with 40 years of experience. He has authored 9 books on herbal medicine and related healing topics, including the best-selling Way of Herbs, and with his wife is the author of East-West Course in Planetary Herbology, with well over 10,000 students worldwide. He was one of the first local acupuncturists who opened his clinic here in 1978. He and his wife, Leslie Tierra, continue to see patients part-time at their clinic in downtown Santa Cruz, 912 Locust Street. Michael and his wife also direct the East-West Natural Healing Clinic, held at Mountain Community Resource Center on Highway 9. They do that the second and fourth Saturdays morning each month, beginning at 10 a.m. and running to 1 p.m. They are assisted by a large cadre of their colleagues, graduate or advanced students, and they offer free health consultations with free herbal supplements donated by industry, massage therapy, and acupuncture. They also offer special pain-free needle acupuncture. Pain-free sounds good to me. This is offered free of charge or by donation. So you can call 335-6600 for an appointment. And I believe there's literature in the back there that you can pick up. And they say walk-ins are welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great pleasure to introduce Dr. Michael Tierra.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon,
I am hoping that you all have one of these. They're on the back table. Can you pass them around for the when you burn them? This is just a little flyer that I have in my clinic to introduce people to the concept of what acupuncture is about. There's one word that I think is really important for everybody to recognize. It certainly is the foundation of acupuncture, and that's the word chi. Anybody not hear of the word chi? Q-I. Good. Things are getting around now. Chi, of course, represents energy, and it's the energy of the universe. All the ways that energy represents itself in the universe. But the way it represents itself in the human body is a very specific method, and it's basically through the nervous system. So it would be a bit of a simplification to describe chi as being biological nervous energy. And there are 2 major circulatory systems in the body. One the West has known about is blood circulation. And everybody here knows about blood circulation, probably is trying to deal with improving it. We always need to improve our blood circulation, especially as we get older. But the one channels of circulation which the West, up until, I don't know if they did actually acknowledge it even up until now, has never recognized, is that just as there are blood circulation in the body, and it's well known and well charted through the veins and arteries and so forth, there's also the circulation of chi. Now, blood and chi, the movement, are both reciprocal to each other. In other words, you can't move blood without chi, and you can't have chi without blood. So, as the Chinese say, blood is the mother of chi, and chi is the father, the commander of blood. So you need to do both. And if you do one, generally you're helping the other, not always. Acupuncture is basically, an acupuncture doctor is basically a chi doctor. In the sense that what we do is find different methods, different ways of moving chi through the body. Any disease, any pain, any problem that you have in your body is due to a blockage of chi and or blood. going to repeat that because it's really important for a concept that a lot of people don't understand. Why, when you have pain, you go and grab it and want to rub it? You want to get something moving out of there, so it's circulation. It's just an instinctive reaction. So anytime you have a disorder in the body, something is not circulating properly. And that's why methods like Tai Chi and so forth are all beneficial to keep everything moving. Movement is the essence of life. Now, the Chinese figured out, and actually not just the Chinese, many cultures throughout the world, the concept that you could press or manipulate points throughout the body that would actually specifically move energy from one place to the next. And the Chinese have it perhaps the most elucidated, the most thoroughly described, with over 365 acupuncture points on the body, and more coming all the time. So basically, the most common method of stimulating the movement of qi is to put a very small stimulus, and it could be a needle, it could be a magnet, it could be an herb, or something that creates a mild kind of stimulation on a particular area of the body. It gets energy to move from other parts of the body through that area and freeing up blockages, relieving pain, and so forth. It's quite astounding. The reason why I can continue to do it is that it's always, to me, amazing. When you go to a Western medical doctor to relieve pain, the first thing that they give you are pain relievers, painkillers. They don't treat the cause of pain. The cause of pain, as I said before, is blockage. So if you relieve the cause of pain just about as quickly, or even faster many times, the pain is relieved than if you were to take a painkiller, which is rife with all sorts of different adverse effects. So that's basically how acupuncture works. One of the other things about acupuncture that you're going to encounter is that we recognize basically 12 basic organ systems. Now, Western physiology might acknowledge, and indeed there are more systems in the body than just 12. But if 12 is all that's needed to do the job, why have more? So if an acupuncturist tells you, for instance, and this is going to be true of most people, especially as we get older, that your kidney qi is low. Is he actually just talking about your organ of the kidney? No, he's not. He's talking also about your entire hormonal system. He's talking about the adrenal glands, which regulate the hormonal system. So that when he takes your pulse or does an evaluation and says your kidney qi is low, and that can give rise to all sorts of different metabolic diseases, including arthritis and cancer and all kinds of serious diseases when kidney qi is low. Back pain is one of the most common indications of kidney qi deficiency. So how many people here got back pain? I should say how many people don't have back pain? Okay,
I'm only 6.
Okay. So in other words, if you told me that you have back pain, my mind says kidney qi. And so then I'm going to think about how am I going to relieve your back pain? A chiropractor might make an adjustment on the spine. Well, the adjustment on the spine sometimes works. You might say, well, my back is out of adjustment. But what is actually happening is not the cracking that's going on, but that all the nerves of the body connect to the spine. The spine is like the central freeway, and all the nerves connect to that. So when you make that little stimulation on particular points of your body, especially in your lower back, you're increasing the circulation. The shortcut to that is that it requires frequent visits, oftentimes to affect a complete cure. And one of the myths is that it's caused by your spine being out of alignment. Usually your spine is not out of alignment. It's just a blockage of chi that's happening somewhere. So I would put acupuncture points in different parts of your body, and one of the most common places that I go for is right behind your knee, right in the center behind your knee. It opens up the whole channel of the spine and relieves back pain beautifully in most cases. And then I might find points that are similar to what acupuncturists might use along both sides of the spine. Now, if I feel like you're weaker and the problem is more intractable, I might decide that these tiny, I mean, they're almost the size of a hair, acupuncture needles are not providing the sufficient type of stimulus to actually make a cure happen. I might add heat to that, and that's called moxibustion. Moxibustion is burning a nerve. It's usually in the form of a cigar. And you light it up. It smells a little bit like cannabis in its raw form. So it was always kind of a joke whenever my dentist had his office next to my acupuncture clinic and smelling these moss coming out the windows. Years ago, he used to joke with me about it. Nowadays, it's all accepted. You smell cannabis everywhere. But in those days, it was a point of suspicion. And so I said, no, there's no cannabis here, just moxie. So we hold the cigar, and you can imagine the cigar, we hold it next to the point, and we repeat that and I tell the patient, say hot. As soon as it's hot, I take it away. Repeat that 5, 6, 7, 8 times, 10 times. And that would create a greater intensification of the treatment. What moxa does is miraculous. It doesn't only add heat, but it causes the vessels and to dilate, so there's more blood circulation going on, so there's more heating happening. The names of the organs, which are listed here in the flyer, I'm not going to go through all of them, are not necessarily only the physiological organ that's known in Western physiology and medicine. It refers to whole terrains. If you can imagine, you have a kidney energy everywhere in your body. You have lung energy, which is the use of oxygen, the intake of oxygen, and every cell of your body is doing that. You have stomach and digestive energy in every part of your body. So when an acupuncture talks about a particular organ, don't mistake it that it only means that organ. It means the whole function, the whole terrain in which that organ represents. So that's something that's a different and a new concept that perhaps a lot of people don't understand. So how does chi get disrupted? How does chi get blocked? Well, all the usual ways that you can imagine. Anytime we put ourselves through either internal stress, mental stress, injuries, all those things can cause chi to be blocked. The mind can cause chi to be blocked. Why the mind? Because this is the central nervous system. All the nerves of the body relate to the central nervous system. So in conclusion, I want to say that also that acupuncture is not the only methodology that you would find in a clinic. For instance, lately I've been using a lot of seeds that I put on a little tape and put in the ear, and I had people massage them, correspond to different parts of the body. I also use hand therapy, Korean hand acupuncture, hand therapy, where I don't use needles, but I can put magnets and little pellets on those points, and usually the pain is gone within minutes, seconds sometimes. What I normally do is I have a person, when they come to me and they say, I have a pain in my shoulder. Okay, challenge your shoulder. Tell me how bad the pain is on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst. They say, oh, it's an 8. Okay, that's good. Now I'll treat it. So I'll look around on a particular part of their hand. Usually it's the ring finger or the second finger, corresponds to the arm, and the shoulder would be in this area up here. And I'll look around, I'll probe, and lo and behold, I'll find an extremely tender spot on your hand because the hand has the most nerves connecting to the brain. And so it's a direct relationship between your hand and your brain. And I'll palpate it. I'll poke at it. I might use a fountain pen. Or sometimes if I don't have anything, I have some keys in my pocket. Point of a key, and I'll just kind of rub it a little bit like that. It's not terribly painful to experience that. And I said, now test it out. The pain's not gone completely. It's gone at least 50% or more immediately. Says, oh, now I know I got the right point. Because if I was just a little bit off one way or the other, it would not work. There's no pain. So that's basically manipulating chi without needles. So as in my practice, I don't only need needles to treat people. So I wanted to just introduce you to acupuncture and the concept of being a chi doctor. And I hope that this will be sufficient to get you thinking about it. My cards are in the back in case you're interested. I have occasionally, I see patients even at this point in my life. I'm going to be turning 80 in May. So I don't intend to retire because I happen to be in love with the whole process too much. All right, thank you very much.
First, if you have any questions regarding acupuncture, here's an opportunity to ask Dr. Tierra directly. Any questions at all on acupuncture? Yes, sir.
One of the meridians is pericardium and triple warmer. Would you characterize what triple warmer is?
Yes, triple warmer is an imaginary organ. The triple warmer is an imaginary organ. In other words, it's not a specific place in the body, but it's a function. It's a function. The function is how does all the parts of your upper body, the middle body, and the lower body, how do they interrelate? So people can have a maladjustment of the triple warmer, so to speak. But it's a very, even in Chinese medical circles, it's kind of a questionable concept. Pericardium basically is an extension of the heart.
Can you all hold the microphone a little bit closer?
Yes, sir.
Acupuncture treatments covered by health insurance policies or Medicare.
I couldn't hear the question. Did you?
Is acupuncture covered by insurance and Medicare? Yes, it is, and at least in most cases, it should be. You should be demanding it. I don't specifically take it in my clinic. What I do is I give you the necessary documents you need to apply to your own insurance company because there's a lot of red tape that I can't deal with at this point in my clinic. And you do it and you get reimbursed.
Very good. Yes.
What's the fundamental difference between acupuncture and acupressure? I mean,
She answered it.
in what it does.
They both do the same thing.
Oh, okay.
But acupressure is much milder in its result.
Is that polarity therapy?
Yes. When you're dealing with chi, you're dealing with something that's like between matter and spirit, aren't you? So it's very easy to go off the deep end or off the far end. And so yes, polarity therapy is beautiful. And basically you're touching and holding different points of the body. And it's very relaxing, and chi can be regulated that way.
Question about
no
chi and maybe Western medicine has borrowed from acupuncture by use of TENS units. Can you explain how that might work? And is that something you would recommend or recognize?
TENS unit is electrical stimulation applied to different areas of the body that we need to make. TENS is basically, I also use electricity in my acupuncture practice where I'll connect electrodes to needles. I do that for pain that's particularly stubborn and difficult to get rid of. I had a patient with serious chronic shoulder pain. And I tried all my normal methods and nothing would give her except just temporary relief until I connected electric acupuncture with the needles on her arm. And then what's going on with that is that it's much more specific than TENS. TENS is just a whole general kind of shotgun area. It's not curative, it just diffuses your sense of pain. But electricity with acupuncture, you feel a constant kind of jerking like that. The nerve is constantly it's like it's being shaken awake. It's saying, come on, let's go, let's get back into the game here and start being acting normal. And it works pretty darn well.
It's right back.
How much do you charge for an office visit?
I charge $150 for the first visit, which usually takes longer, and $75 for follow-up visits, but I also never turn anybody away.
Do you use jars?
Charts?
Jars.
Jars.
Cups.
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 Oh yeah, I do cupping. I do that all the time. I teach massage therapists that they should be using in practice. Cupping is another way to manipulate chi.
I thought it was interesting, I'm having physical therapy now, and you're using cupping in the physical therapy site.
Yeah, cupping is very effective, but it's limited because it doesn't go quite as deep. And so if a person gets a whiplash, what's happening is that you have a trauma and immediately there's a blood coagulation and it turns purple. And so what you want to do is take that blood that's stuck in that place, which is causing the pain, and you want to move it to the surface of the skin so it diffuses and goes out to the body and the pain gets relief. But if the pain has lingered, then there comes a degeneration of the internal tissues, and acupuncture and other methods to work deeper with cupping. But if a problem is relatively simple, cupping is very effective.
How did you get your training?
Well, my acupuncture license says that I'm the 503rd acupuncturist in California, and others thousands.
That's an early time for doing that.
Yes, and it was, and so my training occurred before acupuncture was even legal. And I learned